Good afternoon, good morning, good evening. Thank you for tuning into another video with me. It's your host, Crypto Glenn. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you're here with me, and I appreciate it. I wanted to start by making this video and just saying what a interesting yet fantastic time we are in with crypto. And I know there's some of you out there just saying, Glenn, what are you talking about? The markets are kind of down. They are, but they're not. And we're going to definitely get to that here in just a moment. On the day, Bitcoin is up around 3%. Ethereum's up almost 2.5%, and XRP is up almost 25%. Wow. XRP almost up 25. Oh, there it is, 25%. There we go. So Bitcoin is almost up 3%, and Ethereum is up 2.2%. So what are some of the more important stories in the day here? Well, for instances, this had Twitter all the rage. And if you don't know, I want you to know, you can always follow me here on Twitter at Crypto Glenn, and I strongly encourage you all to do so, because a lot of times if I'm not talking about technical analysis on the videos, I'm definitely talking about technical analysis here on Twitter. It's just a very fast and easy way to get TA content out to you guys. Outside of Twitter, if you are on Telegram, you can also find me at The6Fix. That's The6 SVIXX The 6 Fix. I'm definitely dropping the same content that I put on Twitter in here, but you guys may get it first here. Just kind of depends. So within those two places, Twitter and or Telegram, you guys can definitely follow me and just jump in the conversation. We talk about all things TA. But going back to our lead story here, Elon Musk selling a little bit of the Bitcoin that he had purchased in February. Again, this had social media completely just, I don't know, it's draws just in a bunch. And I don't want to put too much emphasis on this, because I like to believe that the majority of us have been either into Bitcoin or into crypto since before Elon Musk jumped into the picture. And I hope that no one out there bought Bitcoin solely based on the stance that Elon Musk is getting involved with it. I mean, guys, listen, if you've been in Bitcoin longer than 2020, 2019, you've gotten to the space before so many people, and that's going to, I'm going to drill down on that point here in a little bit. So just to kind of clear some of the rumors up, why, yes, Elon Musk and Tesla did sell Bitcoin. They did not sell all of their Bitcoin. They only sold a portion of it. And even if they sold the vast majority of it or all of it, honestly, guys, in the grand scheme of things, it really doesn't matter. Okay? Bitcoin was not made or broken based on what Elon Musk and Tesla is doing. So, personally, I think we've got to get away from this point where because person is rich, person knows best. Or because person is rich, person is smarter than I am. That's not the case. Again, you've beaten so many people to this space, right, who allegedly, supposedly have more money than you. So just because someone has more money than you doesn't automatically make them smarter or more wise than you do, okay? In fact, I actually think that the sale of Bitcoin from Tesla, I actually think the acquisition of Bitcoin for Tesla was somewhat more strategic versus them just saying, hey, we're going to buy Bitcoin because we wholeheartedly believe in its future. I think for a lot of instances, Tesla was probably running out of steam in terms of just the overall organic growth that the stock could have. We saw its meteoric rise when it went to some $800. Someone correct me in the comments if I'm not right about that, but their stock price rising to $800. Okay, well, that's pricing a lot of the average guys and a lot of the average girls out of the market. Then what happens? They do a stock split. Okay, so that brings it down to about 200 or so bucks. And then it started rising above 5, right? So you're not going to split again just after you've already split. So really the logical thing for Tesla to do was to buy Bitcoin, a strong asset, an emerging asset class. And because of it, they've made some $272 million in proceeds. Now I'm sure some of that may have actually come from the sale of their carbon tax credits as well. But nonetheless, they had to buy Bitcoin so that they could produce more revenue, because doing it the organic way, they were kind of running out of steam here. So good for Tesla, better for Bitcoin holders. Again, they didn't sell all of it, they just sold some of it. And again, we knew this was going to happen. If you go back to a few videos, it's the same thing I was talking about. More companies are going to buy Bitcoin to put it on their balance sheet so that they could increase the valuation of their company. This isn't really anything new. Go back and look at all the Bitcoin that they did purchase. The sell only represented about 10% of what they're holding. So again, Bitcoin isn't great simply because Tesla owns it, and Bitcoin isn't doomed because Tesla sold it. What I want to get to is more impressive news, in my opinion, and the fact that JP Morgan is letting clients invest in Bitcoin, their Bitcoin fund, for the first time, sources say. Now, what I do want to make mention of is, if you've been paying attention to the crypto space for any period of time, that you know that one of the gripes that a lot of folks have with Bitcoin is, it's going to get centralized in the hands of rich people. Just like they say, the mining is centralized in China. My argument to that is the same as my argument to the mining argument. Whose fault is that? Bitcoin is predominantly, not wholeheartedly, but predominantly mined in China because China is the country decided when this technology popped up on the scene, they took it in stride and they ran with it. There is no gatekeeper preventing people from mining Bitcoin. You and I can do it right now. So if you're in the US, if you're in Canada, if you're in Mexico, if you're in India, if you're in any territory that will let you mine, okay, maybe not India, but if you're in any territory that will let you mine Bitcoin, mine it. If you want to open up a Bitcoin mining farm, find the capital, put the capital up, build the infrastructure, make it with renewable energy, and get to mining Bitcoin, okay? So when we start talking about, the wealthy people, quote unquote, the wealthy people are going to gobble up all the Bitcoin. That's if that is your argument, that's no one's fault but your own. Okay? We have had ample time to acquire Bitcoin at legendary low prices. We've had ample time to study the market, understanding that FUD's going to happen, understanding that the market is going to try and shake out weak hands as much as possible because allocation and centralization is the name of the game. He who holds the most amount of assets, whether it be real estate, gold, Bitcoin, any number of things, they win. So if you're firm in your position and you haven't been selling your Bitcoin and you've just been acquiring, congratulations, you're going to be well off here in the future, I believe. But this is extremely important because this Bitcoin fund is not going to be available to just the everyday person who holds an account at Chase, okay? So we see here that Chase is preparing to offer an actively managed Bitcoin fund to certain clients, becoming the latest and largest of its kind. The JP Morgan Bitcoin fund could roll out as soon as the summer, okay? So guys, come on, legendary prices are probably going to follow this news. We heard, let's go back a few videos on the channel, we knew that the New York Dig was going to be releasing some pretty strong news here about traditional legacy institutions getting involved with crypto. It took a little while, but it looks like this is it. Now, I think the thing that's going to set the JP Morgan Bitcoin fund away or aside, or, it's going to set them apart from the Pantera Capital, the Galaxy Digital, is this is going to be actively managed, whereas Pantera Capital and Galaxy Digital have a more laissez-faire, not so active managed fund. Now, the thing that I wanted to touch upon is this fund is only going to be available for private wealth clients. And if you know what, let's just look at it together. Let's take a look and see what are the prerequisites for being able to join Chase Private Client and Chase Private Wealth. I believe the last time I looked at it, it was some private client was like 150,000. This was in 2007, and I know they've kind of trimmed this down. So yeah, this is about 150,000 now. Private direct clients, a minimum of $5 million. Private bank minimum $10 million. So I wouldn't be surprised if this was just made available to the upper echelon of their investors, meaning about 10 million, 5 to 10 million. But the thing that I find to be very, very, very interesting is, so this is just their wealth management business. Just kind of goes through and outlines what they're about. And the thing that I find to be very, very interesting is that when we talk about, right now the hot topic, because we're in a bull market, is people are trying to figure out, well, how do we evade taxes? How do we avoid paying as much taxes as possible? And the thing that I've always told people, and this isn't investment advice, this isn't tax advice, you should always consult with a legal professional, a tax professional, an accountant, to substantiate what it is that I'm saying here and to basically see if the ideas that I'm talking about here have any validation to them. I think they do, but obviously do your own research. When we start talking about how to multiply your wealth, right? I just said that it's a game of asset allocation. He or she who has the most assets, they win. And the wealthiest people that I know, they don't sell the assets. They use investment vehicles that have been tailored and structured to help them maintain the wealth that they have, while at the same time utilizing those assets as leverage to gain them more wealth. I 100% believe with JP Morgan Chase making a Bitcoin fund available for their wealthiest clients, I think that all but tells you where this thing is going. We just looked at the prerequisites. Minimum of anywhere from $5 to $10 million. And if they decide to open it up to just private clients in general, that's still a minimum of at least $150,000 worth of assets. That's bank deposits, that's investment stocks, bonds, ETFs that you personally hold. You don't have to hold them with Chase, but you have to be able to show that it meets that requirement. But let's just say it's among the $5 to $10 million market. You know, it's in that range. Well, when you go down here to the website, private client, the Chase private client website, and you start to look at more ways to reach your goals, and, they do home loans, auto loans, securities-based lending. This is so super important, because if you're not aware of what securities-based lending is they take the value of your overall assets. So, for instance, your stocks. And if you are a Chase private client, you can actually give them money to invest on your behalf, and essentially you'd be able to take out a loan against that. Or, if say you're with, Webull or any of these other new age brokerage firms, as long as you can show that you have the prerequisite in terms of the dollar amount invested, you will be able to take a loan against your portfolio. Bitcoin is going to be, mark my words, Bitcoin is going to be the next iteration of securities-based lending from legacy institutions. We already see this with BlockFi. We see this with Celsius. You can take your Bitcoin, you can get a loan against it, over collateralized. I wouldn't be surprised if this was not over collateralized. When you don't have to over collateralize a loan, it tends to provide more attractive environments for the borrower. JP Morgan Chase is banking on the fact that Bitcoin is going to be huge. And if you are looking for a way to not trigger taxable events with your crypto portfolio, this securities-based lending is especially from a legacy institution, is going to represent a huge opportunity for people who are looking at this thing from 30,000 feet up. So imagine when Bitcoin, the price appreciates to a certain amount, you may not be able to qualify for Chase private client privileges now, but should Bitcoin, or when Bitcoin appreciates to a certain price level, it's going to walk you in that room and say, Chase private client, this is my friend Ben. Ben holds Bitcoin, so Ben's good. Make sure you guys take care of Ben. And you'll be able to take a loan out against your Bitcoin. This is how wealthy people play the game. They don't sell the assets. They find underwriters to give them a loan against the value of their portfolio. It may be 75% LTV, it may be 65% LTV, but you're never selling the asset. This is huge. I want to say Fidelity may even offer something like this, but I can't say for certain. But we're looking at this right here, right now on the actual website. Chase private client securities-based lending, access competitive rates and fees, benefits when you use eligible securities with JP Morgan Chase to secure a line of credit. Your private client team will show you. If it's not directly the securities-based lending, I promise you it's probably going to be an offshoot of this. To me, this news of JP Morgan Chase making a Bitcoin fund available to their private wealth clients is way bigger news than Tesla selling off 10% of the Bitcoin that they acquired. This right here, this is micro. What we're talking about here with JP Morgan Chase essentially having an exit ramp for people who hold crypto, this is macro. This is big. This is super important. This is one of the avenues that I've been trying to talk about on my channel for a few videos. I can't tell you what to do with your money, but if the name of the game is truly generational wealth, you are not selling your crypto for a Bitcoin. Or for a Lamborghini. You are not selling an appreciating asset in an emerging asset class for a depreciating liability. I can't tell you what to do with your money. If your dream is to own a Lamborghini, you're probably going to sell. But if your dream is to drastically change the future trajectory in terms of personal economics for your family, you need to be paying very close attention to this and other institutions that start to make these things available. It's a game of asset allocation. Stack Satoshis. I get that people want to chase the safe moons and the Doge. Understand that those things are not going to be around in 10 to 15 years. I'm all but sure that Bitcoin is going to be around. I'm all but sure that Ethereum is going to be around. I'm all but sure that there's probably going to be a handful of these things that are really going to be here. Follow the money. Look up JP Morgan Chase's legacy. Understand what they've been a part of. Go back and just read who JP Morgan Chase was and understand who it was that he was running with. Rockefellers, Vanderbilts, Carnegies. This guy was rolling with titans, magnates of business. JP Diamond is a business titan. He's a magnate. So if you're going to chase the pump and dumps, if you're going to chase the more speculative investments in this emerging asset class, please have a short-term plan for these things and understand when to take your money out. I'll be honest, I got into Eclipse. I Forex my money and I left because I understand what it's about. I'm not really chasing Safe Moon or any of those highly speculative. Again, I keep investing in these things because I keep expecting to lose money so I can make content on it for you guys. And the damn things, for the most part, keep going up. Except for BAT2 shares. That's definitely down. So that kind of did what I needed to do. It took a while, but it did it. And I think that's going to be the case for a lot of these. They're all going to go down. They're all going to go to zero. So if you want to make money in those, you need to be early. You need to be first. But you also need to know when to get out. And again, if you guys are in fact playing the long game, this is definitely something you need to be paying attention to. Let's go ahead and jump into the charts briefly here. Yes, I love this. I love this. I love this. Let me pull up. Give me just a second here. It's like a miniature live stream. Okay, again, guys, if you're not following me, please make sure you go to the 6 Fix on Telegram. I try to keep things very short and sweet, predominantly amongst or talking about TA. But this is something I posted. When did I post this? This was at 10:15 a.m. today. Okay, cool. So here we had actually entered, and I'm not really seeing too many people talk about this, but here you see the ascending triangle. I'm sorry, not ascending triangles, the symmetrical triangles here. Now the thing about these symmetrical triangles, they carry the overall pattern. So what we had here is we had a breakdown. This actually started coming down way back here, but we had a breakdown. The symmetrical triangle shows up. It's a continuation. It's telling us it's going to continue the breakdown. We're still under the 21-day EMA. Boom, we break down again. Then we go into another symmetrical triangle, okay, where we started to, try to make some highs, but then ended up making lower lows. So that's carrying the overall trend. Boom, down again. When I stepped back and I looked at this, I said, where are we going? Because, we were only going to be able to be in this triangle for the weekend before we broke out. Then we started to break out, started to go to the downside again, but I needed to know where we going. Started connecting my troughs and connecting my highs, and became very clear and apparent that, you know what, we are in a falling channel here. And this is the thing, everybody that's talking about TA, this is the thing, the number one thing that I don't see them talking about. We are in a falling channel here. Now, usually the falling channel tends to be very, very bullish. And when I saw this, I said, okay, well, this is going to be our line of support. Assuming that we don't break below this, we're going to be fine. Did my fib retracement. We had a retracement all the way down past the 78%. I mean, that's a deep retracement. Then we bounced off the 786, so that's good. When I saw we actually bounced and closed above this 50% on the fib retracement, I said, okay, that's one indication that we're probably going to start breaking to the upside and hold, because the falling channel is already a very bullish indicator or pattern. Any close on a reversal above the 50, in this case we want us to go up, is a very bullish situation. And what I suspected we would do is we need to get above this line here, this top line that marks our resistance level in the ceiling of our falling channel. We need to get above that. We need to test it, and then we need to bounce off of it. But I said before any of that happens, we're probably going to retrace a little bit. We need it to come down and touch this 23%, because whenever you're talking about doing fibs, if you're going to run up and come back down, in order to know that you have a very good anchor, you have to come back below this 23% retracement. So that's why I kind of have my W pattern set up like this. But before I go on to show you that, the other thing that kind of hinted that we would is the fact that we close above the 50% retracement. We close above the 21-day EMA closed. The confirmation was the next candle that closed and moved up in our desired direction. So ultimately, what I see happening is, oh, wait a minute. Oh, there it is. Okay. Ultimately, what I wanted to see happen was us fall below and almost create a W pattern, kind of like we may be doing here. I would still like to see us retrace below this 23%. But if not, I'm not mad. The overall, the thing that takes priority here is making sure, because we're probably going to, we tried to run against our resistance. We failed. We're going to try again. We'll see if we break it. Ultimately, like I said, I want to see us fall below this 23% retracement and bounce somewhere off this golden retracement zone before pushing our way back up here. I think that'll happen because the farther and farther we go sideways, the resistance to break above actually ends up lower in terms of the dollar amount. So if we can break above this, probably print a little bit of a W, that'll give us a strong indication, a double bottom, if you want to call it that, and we should be pushing off to the other side or to the upside. So it's just something to keep an eye on. Again, this is what I would like to see us do. Ultimately, I know that we're going to end up testing this line of resistance here. And if we do push through, we're going to need to come back, test it, see if we've got support here. And if we do bounce off this line, I think we're going to be on the other side of 60,000 here in just a few days, if it even takes that long. So again, guys, follow me on Twitter, follow me on the 6 Fix on Telegram, and we will be talking about these things, and I'll be doing my best to keep you guys updated. I know this is a little bit of a longer video, but I think it was packed full of good information. So if you like the video, do me a favor, please hit that like button, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, and definitely leave me a comment in the comment section below. I want to talk to you guys. I love having conversations with you guys, be it on Twitter or here on YouTube. And I'll see you all in the next one. Peace.